Morning, Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore and beyond. My name is Frank Mastoris. I am a practitioner of distinction, centered and working with the center here. Our meditation today is going to be a visualization around the theme of living our life to the fullest. So allow yourself to take a breath in and to release. Take another breath in and release. Take a third breath in, releasing, letting go of whatever the cares of the days are. Now allow yourself just to be centered in your body. Ask yourself the question, what does my fullest life look like? Is it being in a different place? Being surrounded by people you love? Being present, and aware of just to God within. So just take a moment and think about that. What is your fullest life? Sit with your emotions. What would be the feeling of your fullest life? Would it be happy and joyful? Would there be moments of pain? Would you feel peaceful? What would this fullest life feel like from a sensory perspective? Would your body or your senses feel comfortable? Would it be quiet? Would you hear beautiful music playing in the background to your choice, be it jazz or blues or folk music or spiritual music? Just allow this truth to manifest in you. In the allness of life, fullness of life, what would the delicacies of life taste like to you? Would they be salty or sweet, tart or spicy? What calls to you? In the allness of life, are you alone? Are you surrounded by family and friends that you love? Are you making new friends? Are you willing to allow yourself to release that which blocks you from living the fullest life possible? And if so, say thank you to it for being part of your life. Because obviously it served you. And just release it. Let it go like you would throw anything out into the trash. And now that you have this image of the fullest life possible, bring it into your body and your mind, your senses, and your emotions. And anchor it. Let it become your truth in consciousness on all levels. Anchor it into your mind, your heart, your emotions, your senses, your spirit, and your soul. Spirit has already said yes to your fullest life. Allow the veil of unawareness to be torn, separated from you, so that you become completely and fully aware of this as your truth, made manifest in form by the power of God through the law. It's already there. Already present, because God within you has already said yes. As you have gone within, come from the space that you have gone to with this image of the truth of your life deeply anchored in you. Come back to the state of complete awareness of the space around you, of whatever you were sitting on, the power of God that supports you. Bring this image forth, anchored in your beingness, knowing that it has already been made manifest. And in this moment, open your eyes. Look around the room that you're in and see the reality of your life completely and fully made manifest. Your fullest life possible. And so it is.
Good morning, CSL of Greater Baltimore. My name is Leah Morris, and I'm honored and pleased to be sharing music with you today. This song is called What Will You Make? At the start of any given day, there is mystery available. There is a game waiting for an open heart to say yes. Here I am, I'll play. And if we're smart, we'll listen to the way, and all the misery that held us down, we'll let it fade, let it be outshined by the simple spark of a life that's waiting to be made, that's waiting to be made. What will you make of this day? What will you keep? What will you change? What will you see? What will you believe? What will you make of your dreams? Will you keep sleeping, or will you awaken and decide what you at the start of any given day, there is history and poetry. There's a play, but you're not in the audience. You are the star. So get out there and say what you made. What will you make of this day? What will you keep? What will you change? What will you say? What will you believe? What will you make of your dreams? Will you keep sleeping, or will you awaken and decide what you make of this day? What will you keep? What will you change? And what will you see? What will you believe? What will you make of your dreams? Will you keep sleeping, or will you awaken and decide what you
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I'm Sue Monahan, and I'm your host for the day. Our speaker is Eugene Holden, our musician, Leah Morris, and Frank Mistoris is our practitioner of distinction who led that wonderful pre-service meditation. Thank you all for your service. Invite a friend. At CSLGB, every Sunday is Invite a Friend Sunday. Invite a friend, invite a family member. Make sure you spread the love and invite someone to service. We would love to have them hang out with us. Frank Mistoris. Frank was raised Catholic. As he grew, he was more determined to find an experience of the divine or God. He felt this overriding desire to find God. Frank began to explore his own spirituality using prayer, meditation, the Bible, and the Rosary. He had this experience of feeling overwhelmingly connected to God and loved. Though he didn't realize it, he felt as if he was love itself. Frank has been involved with religious science since 1992. He traveled as part of his job and was able to see multiple versions of religious science churches throughout the country. He's been a practitioner for 8 years. He has felt this call for over 40 years. And to live and to share a life of oneness with and as the divine expression of all life. Frank's spiritual work is to always call others to their deeper awareness of the divine within throughout and about their lives. Frank's spiritual work is to call all to the deep awareness of God as themselves.
Good morning, CSL Greater Baltimore, and those who are just joining us now. My name is Frank Mistoris. I am a practitioner of distinction here with the center. And I have to tell you, I am so excited today. I am so excited as we begin to talk about living our fullest life. I am so excited because I know the truth that is manifesting in this here and now. Because God is breathing and living its life through me and through you. And God will not be denied. So I know that there is this one power, this one presence, this one life that we call God. And it is expressing everywhere. It expresses love and joy and abundance and peace and blessings and goodness all around. It is in you. It is in me. It is in the chair that I'm sitting on supporting me. It is on the floor that my feet are on. It's everywhere. And it's always saying yes to the fullest life possible. And I know today, as we move into this topic of living the fullest life possible, I know that my beloved brother Eugene is living the fullest life possible. I know that Leah, our musician, has expressed great love through her music. I know Sue, who is our producer and host today, is expressing such love. And also, more importantly, I know that each of us, you, are living the fullest life possible. Listening to the call within, rending the veil of unawareness, because God has said yes to your fullest life. God has said yes to your fullest joy. God has said yes to your greatest dream. And I release this to the law, knowing it's done in mind and it is done in form. And so it is.
Thank you, Frank. That was wonderful. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religious traditions. We honor each person on their select path, and we bless them, and we recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, in each person. CSL upcoming news and events. Study, learn, and grow with the Thursday night study group. Visit CSL Greater Baltimore org to learn how to participate and how to enroll in the discovery class to become a member. The corporate CSL visioning team has 3 openings. These openings are coming soon, one for a minister, a spiritual director, a practitioner, member, or laity. If you're interested in serving on the CSL visioning team, please complete the online application by February 28th. For more information, contact Centers for Spiritual Living team or visioning team at csl.org. We have a great opportunity for a workshop coming up being led by our own Frank Mastoris. What you are seeking is seeking you. Use the law of the universe to create the life of your dreams. This is being held March 5th from 1 to 4. Know and honor who and whose you truly are. These are tools to use, the laws of the universe, and practical steps for spiritual practices for change. Call or email Frank. His information can be found on our website. Join us for our next lunch bunch on March 12th at Kung Fu Restaurant. Remember to send in your accumulated love offerings and the support of the I Love Me and CSLGB fundraiser. Thank you for your support. For more information on events or how to RSVP, go to our website. We are seeking volunteers to serve in a variety of ways. Are you good with grant writing? How about locating the next right and perfect physical location for us to meet and greet and celebrate each other in? Or the hospitality team, hosting or producing our virtual services, or fundraising or coordinating events. For a full list and ways you can volunteer, go to our website. Here at CSLB, we live as answered prayer because prayer works. We as a community continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent at any time via email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. Leah Morris is our guest musician. Leah was born in Baltimore to a father who toured the world playing trumpet in the funk band Blackheat, and a mother who dreamed of opera while performing with her siblings in the Jones Family Gospel Singers. Leah was singing on the pulpit of the Baptist church where she grew up as soon as she could speak. When she discovered the acoustic guitar as a teenager, she began teaching herself to play by writing songs. Having shared the stage with luminaries including Odetta, Mavis Staples, Dar Williams, and Anthony Hamilton, Leah's sound seamlessly blends gospel, jazz, country, and R&B into her own style, soul folk.
This is a song of inquiry, of invitation, of curiosity that I hope once it's familiar to you, you'll sing along. It's called Listening. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. My hands are wide open, eyes are wide open to see what I may be. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak through me. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. My hands are wide open, eyes are wide
Our spiritual practice is a reading from Living this a book, this Living the Science of Mind. I am come that you might have a more abundant life. To those who know not their true nature, believing themselves separated from good, I am come. To those weary with disappointment and struggle, who've sought life outside themselves, I point the way to certain salvation. I am in the midst of you is mighty to heal, to comfort, and prosper. I have come to arouse you from the long dream of separation, from your night of despair. The dawn has come. The sun of truth arises over the horizon of ignorance. The light dissipates the darkness. The morning dew is upon the petals. They glisten in the sun. I am the Son of Truth, dwelling within the sanctuary of your heart. I am the morning star guiding you to the manger of your salvation, wherein lies the child born from your own consciousness. The inner life is your only Savior, the creator of your destiny, the arbiter of your fate. Awake, become aware of my presence, for I am life. I am not something apart from your being. I am your being. So it is.
Thank you, Frank. Eugene Holden. Eugene Holden is a licensed spiritual counselor and practitioner of distinction, studying new thought and science of mind and spirit for over 30 years. Eugene served as department manager for Centers for Spiritual Living, an international nonprofit organization, for 10 years, running the World Ministry of Prayer. After 15 years, Eugene continues to be a well-loved contributor to the Science of Mind magazine, inspiring lives around the world. Eugene is an experienced process training facilitator who has led group sessions at Agape International Spiritual Center, Unity of Colorado, spiritual centers nationally and internationally, including Denver, Florida, California, Philadelphia, Oakland, Canada, Mexico, and Jamaica. Eugene currently runs a successful counseling and coaching practice, both in person and online. Eugene also served for 2 years as a facilitator and trainer for Center for Spiritual Living's Diversity and Inclusion Commission. Eugene allows vision to guide him. It is prayer that fuels him. Eugene is deeply committed to his purpose of joyfully assisting others in remembering who and what they truly are, divine beings of light. Eugene believes that together we can reveal the kingdom of heaven right here, right now on earth. What is heaven? Heaven is ever expanding good.
Good morning, everyone. It is so good to be with you this morning here at Centers for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore. I want to thank everybody who held me, kept me in prayers during my beautiful experience. The end of last month, it was a wonderful experience. It continues to move forward. So I appreciate all the prayers for health, wholeness, and well-being. Leah, thank you so much for your music. And that last song, I Am Listening. I love how spirit works. I love how spirit works in terms of the music and the reading and the prayer and how it goes into the talk. So The global theme for Centers for Spiritual Living this year is living out loud. Oh, yeah, living out loud. So, in week 1, we talked about curiosity as a superpower. See, it's the curiosity. Curiosity as a superpower is the monthly theme. And for the first week, we talked about what lies beneath the surface. Now, in order for us to see or to find out what lies beneath the surface, we have to be curious about it. But they say that curiosity is a superpower. I believe that curiosity is one of those beautiful gifts that we have as divine human beings, right? That curiosity is one of those beautiful gifts. Imagination is a beautiful gift. And you've heard me say this before. I love the gift of choice. Curiosity, though, right? If we weren't curious as babies, we wouldn't do the things that we do. We wouldn't want to try to crawl. We wouldn't want to find out what is this thing that's at the end. What is this that I put in my mouth? It's the curiosity that allows us to start to grow. So as we begin to grow up, as we begin to function in this thing called life, we come to find out that there must be something else. There's something that's lying beneath the surface of what our physical eyes are seeing. It's written in the first week, the documentation says, if we knew it all or could see it all, there would be no need for a curious, imaginative mind. So, in other words, let's appreciate the unknown. See, for without the unknown, man, wouldn't life be dull? Wouldn't life be dull? So we are looking for what lies beneath the surface. And that can come up in a couple of ways. For me, it came up years ago and some of you have asked yourself this same question. There must be more to this, right? There must be more to what I'm experiencing here. And so we go into week 2. Inquiring minds want to flow. Yes, inquiring minds want to know. But in week 2, as we're living out loud, we in this curiosity, we start making inquiry. And as we open up, we find that life is this ever-moving flow. And as we start to trust this ever-moving flow of life, now we get to open up to who we truly are. Sometimes as we're in this flow, when we start to fight the flow, we may find ourselves getting banged up against the rocks, right? Because we're thrashing around and we're flailing around and sputtering and trying to keep our head above water, right? But as we stay with the curiosity, as we start to inquiry, as we start to make that inquiry, and the inquiry in this case is, how do I go with the flow? One of the best ways to go with the flow is to relax. Because then once we relax, now we are not only going with the flow, trust this to be the truth, that we are now the flow itself. See, because if there's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now, well, then my life is the natural flow of life itself. My life is the flow of life. And so as we start to make that inquiry, as we start to go with the flow, we find that now we begin to shine our light. Now we begin to flow with that beautiful divine presence. The desire to answer the questions, why am I here, is a great question. That desire it opens us up to see more, and question like, what is my purpose in life? Again, that's pretty close to it. That's about the same as there must be more to life than this. See, here's the thing, my beautiful brothers and sisters. We were created to live out loud, to live out loud. However, some of us may have been raised in a society or part of society that said children are to be seen and not heard. Man, isn't that contrary to our natural state of being? Especially as a child. When you really look at young kids playing in the playground or in the yard or whatever it is, they are playing out loud, living out loud. And everything's about joy and everything's about fun and everything's about getting to the next, whatever the next is. See, kids, which is why in scripture we read, lest ye be like a child when ye enter the kingdom of heaven, right? So what that means is, to have the innocence of a child. Kids, you really are, they naturally do not judge. Kids are taught to judge, right? And they are always using their imagination. They are always using their imagination, always asking the question. Parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, you've heard this. Why? Why? Well, why? Why is this? Why is that? That's that curiosity, right? Wanting to know. So that's inquiring minds want to flow. And then in week number 3, the world is an oyster. The world is an oyster. I was thinking about this one last week. In fact, I spoke on this one last week, someplace else. And it's about, I had this thought. If an oyster did not choose to address the grain of sand that caused such discomfort, we would never experience the beauty of a pearl. Here's my question. Who said that the oyster is feeling any discomfort? Who says that the sand is irritating it? Maybe that's just the process of the pearl to be created, right? But that's just me going on my little tangent there. But the world is an oyster. And sometimes as we are starting to live our lives out loud, we come across irritation. We come across situations that cause us to not only turn down the volume from living out loud, but to turn down our light, right? And sometimes we find ourselves not wanting to shine our lights because we're afraid of being judged. Well, I don't know about you, but there was a time in my life where I'm not showing up. I'm not going to speak up. I'm not going to shine my light because I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid of what my friends and family would say. I was afraid of being talked about or teased and all of that goes on as we are growing up. And so I stopped living out loud. I started to live from the background. I started to live, trying to sneak under the radar, right? And after a while, though I got used to doing that, doesn't mean that it felt good. So what did I do? I used the irritation. I remember so vividly when I began to look at me after sabotaging this beautiful relationship for the second time. I had to stop and look at me. The irritation was this. This is interesting for me to speak about. The irritation was, why are you afraid to be loved? Why are you afraid to be loved? So that was the question, right? That was my inquiry, right? And that was the irritation. That was the sand, having me to start to look at myself. And what I love about the irritating sand is this. Like a piece of sand paper, the sand, the irritation starts to smooth off the rough corners, the sharp edges, the sharp corners and edges of condemnation, of judgment, of all of the things that are not in alignment with our highest good. It starts to smooth out the sharp corners of complaining. See, if we're going to be in the flow, then we need to let go of everything that goes against the flow. So you heard my part of my purpose statement. I truly do believe that together we can reveal heaven here on earth. And what is heaven? Heaven is ever expanding good. Now, why not live out loud from that purview? Why not live out loud from that foundation, that right where we are, right where you are, heaven is. You are heaven right here on earth, right? I used to teach Tai Chi Chuan years ago, and I would have the students stand and imagine that from the top of their head there is a thread that is being pulled by the sky. And so you take the head up, right? Not the chin, but the head, the crown of the head up, and then imagine that there's an energy pulling at the bottom of the feet. So now the feet are being anchored into the ground. So essentially what's happening is the body is being pulled. So you have that straight posture. But check this out. You get the visual in this. You, crown, feet. You are where heaven meets earth. So why not bring heaven to earth through you? Now, how do we do this? We do this by committing to ourselves to tap into that inner voice from within, listening. I am listening, Leah. Thank you so much. I am listening to that voice. Now, living out loud takes being in the silence. Living out loud takes being in the silence. Why? You can't have one without the other. You can't have the sound without the silence. If it weren't for the silence, we'd have no sound. If it weren't for the darkness, we'd have no light. Beautiful how we have been created to experience all of this. So we take the irritation and use it to our advantage. We use that irritation to have us ask the question, okay, there must be more to this than this. There must be more to life than this, because I don't like this. This is irritating to me. So what is it that I am to do to change this? And whatever the answer is for you, commit to yourself to make the change. Because as Ernest Holmes reminds us, right? Change your thinking, change your life. Now, on the flip side of that, nothing changes if nothing changes. So if I don't change the way that I'm thinking, if I don't change the way that I'm feeling, if I don't change the way that I'm acting, then I will continue to experience the irritation in this thing called life. It is in that using the gift of choice where now we get to become free. I choose to let this go. I choose to do something different. I'm using this irritation to create the pearl of my life. That's week 3. Now we come to today. Again, living out loud is the theme for the year for CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living, the global theme. The monthly theme is curiosity as a superpower. I look at curiosity as a gift. And today, in this week's topic is living curiosity out loud. Oh boy, living curiosity out loud. So this can mean a lot of different things, and it will mean a lot of different things because everybody has their own way of living curiosity out loud. Now, what we really want to start to become aware of is if there is any fear around being curious, right? So maybe there's an idea that comes through us. See, ideas don't come to us, they come through us. Ideas, there isn't anything outside of us that gives us the idea. The idea comes from within, which is why it's important to take time to be still and be in the silence so we can tap into the idea that wants to come through you. So living curiosity out loud is to tap into the idea, what wants to be birthed through you. What's that idea? What's that desire? What is that desire that is wanting to be birthed, that is wanting to be made manifest through you, right? And so then when you ask the question, right, ask and you shall receive, right? Knock and the door will be opened, right? Right? Seek and you shall find, right? So when we ask, what is that which it wants to be birthed through me? Now all we are to do is to be open, receptive, and available to hearing what the answer is. Right? What is wanting to be birthed through me? What is desiring to come forth and manifested through me? And then we hear the answer. Now, sometimes you hear the answer and you go, oh, no, I'm not doing that. That's too big. I can't do that. If you hear that statement, I can't do that. That's too big. Rest assured that that is the egoic mind speaking. That's that little small voice speaking. And we're not to ignore it, but we're not to give it any power. We can acknowledge that it's there. Oh, I hear you, but you have no power over me because there is something within me that is wanting to come forth through me and as me. Right? So as we start to open up to that, we start to do our spiritual practice, to let go of the fear and the doubt and the worry. You know, if the vision doesn't scare you, if your desire doesn't scare you, if the vision doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. It's not big enough. Fear is not there to stop us. Fear is there for us to learn from and to walk through. See, because once we walk through that feeling of fear, there is a vista of possibilities. Oh my God. Living curiosity out loud is calling all of us to be bold. It's calling all of us to be courageous. It is calling all of us not to give a hoot about what others say. See, because each and every one of us have been called. The saying goes like this, right? Many are called, but few are chosen. I don't believe that's quite right. Because we were all created, because we were all born into the spiritual plane called earth, everyone is called. But not everybody answers. Not everybody. It's not that we are chosen. We are the one who is doing the choosing. So yes, everybody is called. What do you choose to do? Are you choosing to live curiosity out loud? Are you choosing to answer the call? And if you say yes, and there's still some fear that comes up, it's okay. The fear is okay. Love the fear. And then walk right on through it. There isn't anything that can stop you. There isn't anything that keeps you from experiencing your highest and greatest good. We are magnificent expressions of the divine. We are magnificent expressions of the divine, and we are called to live this life filled up and overflowing with the goodness of God, call it spirit, call it universal intelligence, call it love, call it whatever you call it. But we are created as magnificent expressions of the divine, here to live a full and a life overflowing with ever expanding good. Curiosity pulls us in the direction of uncovering our good, and it also pulls us in the direction and leads us to know the truth of not only who we are, but of what we are. So the very next time you look in the mirror, look at yourself and say, God, I love you. I am magnificent. And then feel that, and even feel the discomfort that might come up. right? And if there's discomfort that comes up by you looking at yourself in the mirror and going, I love you and you are magnificent, then be with the discomfort. And then ask the question, where's that come from? Huh. Wonder where that's from. Could I have gotten it from hearing something contrary to who I am when I was growing up? Was I one of those kids who came up in a society or a household that said kids are to be seen and not heard? Was I one of those kids that felt ignored? Maybe I wasn't ignored, but maybe I felt ignored. Or whatever the case might be, ask the question so that you may get to the answer. So you can then start to do the work. Maybe you need to see a practitioner or a minister or someone to help you get through it. And that's okay because it's all spirit. But whatever you do, we want to all get to the point where we are living out loud. Living out loud. I remember, this goes back years, man. And I love people. I love a party. And back in the day, man, dancing, going to parties, they don't have many house parties now, but that's okay. But I was at a party and dancing and all that good stuff. And my former wife, this goes back years, man, came up to me. She says, "You're being obnoxious." No, I was just being my natural people-loving self, right? Having a ball with everybody, and you're being obnoxious. So you know what I did is I sat down. I'm like, okay, I'll show you. Sat down and didn't say a word for the rest of that night. I'll show you. Well, what that also did is it kept me from going back to that space, going back to that joy more and more and more. It kept me, so I started to turn my light down. Until, and I did that for a couple of years until I realized, and then she also realized that. Also realized that wasn't doing us any good at all. So, and that was the irritation for me. So I started to come back, started to live out loud. And then, eventually that ended up in it resulted in a divorce after, 17 years of marriage and all of that good stuff. But that was just a part of the process because my devotion was to live out loud for spirit. So, whatever it is that you are to do, whatever it is and whoever it is that you are to be bold, be courageous, and say, I am here to live out loud. I am here to shine my light as brightly as I can. And then go forth and multiply the consciousness. Peace and blessings.
of Dr. Cornel West that love, if you're longing for love, it looks like kindness. If you're longing for love, it looks like kindness. You can find the love. Whoa, if you're longing for it. Yes, you can find the love. You can find the love. When you're searching for love, it sounds like oneness. When you're searching for love, it sounds like oneness.
Sorry for experiencing some technical difficulties there with Leah's last song. So we have a CSL GB vision of a 24-hour spiritual facility that serves as a community hub, offering people a wide array of services so each person awakens their spiritual magnificence. A world that works for all. Join us as we continue to sow seeds that will shift the consciousness in our area and in the world, thus creating a world that works for all. This is the time that we're reminded to practice the law of circulation. It's one way that we can support our spiritual center. It supports where we are spiritually fed. And while also supporting the business of running a center, the daily workings, rent or mortgage, maintenance for soon-to-be new home for CSLB. As we give, we receive. You have several ways that you can give. PayPal, Givelify, text messaging, and postal mail. If there's a certain place within CSLGB that you want your tithes offerings to go, for example, the emergency fund or a new building fund, you can designate that in PayPal in the notes section or on your check or in the Givelify notes section, or you can contact me. I'm the treasurer for CSLGB. If you do not desire to designate a specific portion, you can trust that the Board of Trustees, as excellent stewards who will continue to determine where and how to use our financial resources to serve the CSL GB community and beyond. For more information, go to cslgreaterbaltimore.org/giving. Now I invite you to declare our declaration of financial wealth and abundance. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. If you would like the practitioner on duty to pray with you, join us in the Zoom room and type prayer. So this is the time of service that you are reminded to be awesome and amazing, because you are awesome and amazing.
All righty then. So close me in this joining prayer, or how about join me in this closing prayer? So we take a nice deep breath. Recognizing that the breath that I breathe, the breath that you breathe, is the breath of the infinite. And I use this breath to propel this word, and the word that I speak is God, recognizing that this infinite intelligence is at the very center of all of life, revealing itself in, through, and as everything that is seen and unseen, everything that is known and the yet to be known. It is all God, the infinite love intelligence that governs the universe. Recognizing and acknowledging that it is everywhere present. I know that right where we are, it is revealing itself in, through, and as each and every one of us. And so it is in my awareness of our oneness in God that I speak this word, knowing that as we each go our separate ways today, as we leave service today, that we go shining our lights brightly and living out loud from a place of joy, from a place of love, from a place of peace, from a place of gratitude. Yes, we are the way that God shows up and shows out. So we give great thanks as we live out loud. Knowing that this is done, I accept that it is complete, and I simply and lovingly allow it to be so now. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Amen. Peace and blessings, everyone. Enjoy the week.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I got kicked off several times, and I'm like desperately coming back in.
Yeah.
I think you continued to talk, but the slides wouldn't boot back up fast enough.
Yeah. I just kept going. I paused like, okay, what's going on? Okay, just keep going. Yeah.
Wait for me, Eugene. I'm coming.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
I think what might have happened was it might have been too many. It might have been because all of her videos were added in. I had them added into the stream. Plus, I don't know. I just heard somebody talk about that before. Plus the PowerPoint slides. It might have been too much to be in at one time.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, is it possible for you to type in or to paste the link into the chat here? The Zoom room?
Do you need it? I mean, you can just go out to the CSL Greater Baltimore website.
Okay, cool. That's what I'll do.
I'll see you there.
All righty.
Bye.